And so one of the questions that I get a lot is, Hayden, how do we do timers? How do you set up a timer inside of CCW? It looks kind of cryptic. How do you do that? So I'm going to show you guys two different ways that you can set up a timer. So let's go ahead and use, and we're going to create a flashing circuit, right? So kind of like a flasher with a time on and a time off. I'm going to use the motor starter coil to actually enable that circuit. So we're going to go back to I/O and select this guy. And so then what we're going to do is put in, oh, really cool. So timers are over here. I can select it that way. But notice that there's a search function up here for my instructions too. So all I have to do is type in time, or TON, and it will show me the timing functions. So I'm grabbing the timer, and I'm going to throw it down here on the rung. You can see that it goes ahead and creates a tag name for it automatically. You can change that if you want to make it more descriptive. But it's similar to a timer that we're used to in the fact that you've got the PT, or the preset time. You have the elapsed time if you're doing online monitoring, and then you have the Q bit. The Q bit conforms to the 1131 IEC 1131 standard for PLC programming environments. You see Q more often. We use obviously the done bit versus Q, but it's one of those things that you kind of get used to. So no done bit associated with the timer. It's actually the Q bit that is the same as the done bit. So how do I put in a preset? I'm going to show you guys how. So the syntax is T, pound, and then if I want 3 seconds, I put 3S, and let's say I want 3.5 seconds, I type in 500 MS. And that is the syntax for the preset of a timer. So how did I know that? Really cool thing. We're going to go look at the help on that. So select the instruction. This works for any instruction. Hit the F1 key. That's going to bring up help. And this is going to, just like the help that's actually in 5000, it's very similar to it. It gives you all the parameter data for that particular instruction. If there's a timing chart associated with it, what it looks like in function block, what it looks like in ladder, what it looks like in structured text. And then the whole reason that we came here is to figure out how do we format that preset. So it's really simple. If you need a day, you put D in. If you need an hour, you put H in, minute, so on and so forth. So the examples that they have down here are T-pound 1H for 1 hour and 450 milliseconds. And then you can also use time if you want to spell it all the way out. But if you need an hour and 3 minutes, it's simply, that's the way you do it. So not too hard to remember there, but that's how you actually deal with a timer preset if you want it hard-coded. So let's say that I need to be able to change the timer preset from my HMI, or I need to move different values into the same timer preset because of different situations, right? I can't do that when I've hard-coded the preset. What I have to do is basically make it a modifiable tag, a value. So we'll drag the timer back down, and then I'm going to get rid of the search criteria there to bring all the instructions back. I'm going to introduce you to a new concept that we don't have to deal with in the other editors. Let's take an add instruction. We'll start with an add instruction. If I was in 5000, 500, whatever the case may be, I had the ability to use in an add instruction an integer, and then for source A, and then for source B, I could use a double integer. And then for the destination of the add instruction, I could use a real. No issue doing that, no issue whatsoever. Within the CCW environment, if you have to do that same add instruction and you have those 3 things that you're working with, you have to make them all the same data type. So we have data type conversions that are just automatically done for us in the other editors. Here we have to manage those data types, and that does include time. So I can't just move a tag value into the preset of timer 2 there and be able to modify it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So we have this thing called a block, or an instruction block. And this allows us to actually build more sophisticated instructions. So your math you still have math instructions, right? But you can also get to your math instructions. You can get to a bunch of different types of instructions, as you can see right here. What I want to show you is any to time. So that's what we need to do in order to make a tag value that will allow us to change the timer preset. So I come in here and I do a variable selector. This is going to be the input for it. And I'm going to go to global values. The reason I'm going to do this is local variables, if I'm going to modify or make this a tag value that's available on an HMI, HMI, the PanelView 800 does not have access to the local variables. If you're going to use tags with the PanelView 800, they have to be in the global variable section of the CCW program. So we're going to create TON2 preset, and we're going to change that to a double integer. So I'm going to say OK, and now he's happy because the caution sign's gone away. Now I'm going to change it to the tag that I will eventually use as the preset in timer 2. So variable selector, select that, go back to global values. Now notice it's not showing the tag that I just put in there. One of the features of CCW is that it doesn't show you the tags until you click on the first tag in there. So just a word to the wise there. So we're going to do TON2 underscore preset underscore use. I'm going to use the data type. You can change it. You can't just start typing, but if you select what the default is, which is bool, you can actually type in what data type you want, and we're using time as our data type. So I select time, select OK. And now I can actually take this, copy, select the preset here, paste, and now we have the ability to modify the preset in timer 2. One more rung. And this is our flashing circuit. So I'm just going to say, if timer 1 is done, once again, no done bit, you get the Q bit, select it, and timer 2 is not done, go ahead and turn on output 1. So we're going to the tags, once again, to the I/O tags for the controller. I'm not going to worry about commenting, so we have a complete program now.